Hey guys, Poro here with another Worlds 2025 team breakdown, this time for top esports from the LPL. For those of you who have followed Pro League for as long as I have, you all know just as well as I do that top esports at an international never goes well. They've been to 5 and they've underperformed at all 5 of them. In fact, they didn't just underperform, they either choked or completely died off in the most uninspiring ways possible, to the point where even the Chinese community actively roots against them. Their run of disappointment started off on an unassuming note at Worlds 2020. LPL had just won back-to-back Worlds titles, and Top Esports was the 1 seed coming from the LPL, meaning they were the favorites. Domestically, they were 5-0 against the LPL 3 seed Suning Gaming, yet they managed to lose in a depressing 1-3 scoreline to Suning in the semifinals, not even having a chance to challenge for the title. A bad loss for sure, but semifinals is nothing to scoff at, and the viewers suspected nothing. Next up was Worlds 2022. Top Esports were first in regular season and finished domestically in second after a 5-game banger against JDG, who were arguably the favorites to win Worlds that year. Needless to say, expectations were high for the roster. Things were looking up, and they even got placed into the easiest group of the whole event, featuring the LCK 4th seed, Rogue from the LEC, and the Vietnam representative GAM. Against all odds, Top Esports would drop a game not only to the LCK, but also a game against Rogue and a game against GAM, failing to make it out of the group in dramatic fashion. MSI 2024 and Worlds 2024 are barely worth mentioning. They looked great in regular season spring and got the 2nd seed for MSI, only to look incredibly weak and end their tournament campaign in 6th place after being swept 0-3 by G2 from the LEC. Worlds was not much better as they would stumble their way into quarterfinals, only to be swept yet again, this time in 0-3 against T1. Finally, this year, they had one more chance to avenge their failures by qualifying for first stand. This tournament should be a cakewalk for the LPL first seed. Only 5 teams, and only one of those is from the LCK, so getting to finals should be a guarantee. Except maybe this was their most embarrassing loss yet, as they were swept 0-2 not only by HLE, but also by KC from the LEC and CFO from the LCP to finish in a depressing 4th place. So basically, Top Esports is not to be trusted internationally. They always look fantastic domestically, but completely shit the bed as soon as they play against other regions. Understandably, nobody really has faith in them to actually perform when it matters. This split is more of the same. They were the best team in regular season, and made it all the way to grand finals in a 5-game banger against BLG. On paper, they should look great at Worlds, but Summoner's Rift is played not on paper, but on a screen. We'll have to see if Top Esports can keep it together this time. 369 is considered in the conversation for the greatest Chinese top laner of all time. It's either him or Bin, you get to pick. If 369 had better international showings, as he's been a part of Top Esports for 4 of their 5 internationals, he'd probably have it for sure. 369 did have some really good international showings when he was on JDG, including an MSI win in the new double elimination format, and he's also usually not the person who is deemed at fault for the international throws of the org. He's made a name for himself by being the greatest weak side player of all time, and his ability to turn losing matchups into even ones is contested only by Keen. 369 has also reinvented his own playstyle a couple of times in his career, a testament to his adaptability as a player. Currently, his best champions include picks like Gnar, Gragas, Rumble, Ornn, and Sion. You can leave him on an island and just let him do his own thing, and he'll get you the advantages you need. Some people would say that 369 has been inconsistent this year. Top Esports bowed out of Split 2 playoffs remarkably early, and 369 did definitely have some weak games, but I would say some of the criticism against his play was a bit overblown. I would still consider 369 to be a consistent top laner heading into Worlds, and I expect him to be one of the better ones there. For much of Top Esports' international slumps, the role people blamed the most was jungle. TN was the player with a target on their back after having also underperformed in Worlds 2021 with FPX, and when they finally replaced TN with Kanavi for 2025, Top Esports fans rejoiced as they thought all of their problems would be solved. Obviously, after the disaster that was First Stand and Split 2 playoffs, this was not the case, but it makes sense why people were initially excited. Kanavi is an all-time great jungler. Throughout his career, basically every team he's been on has been hailed as a super team with title aspirations. While a Worlds title has eluded him, he's had great success internationally from other important events such as MSI and Asian Games, and he's widely respected for his ability to carry teams with an exciting playstyle. This season he's shown a lot of flair with his champion pool, piloting high-skill, high-reward picks like Nidalee, Lee Sin, Qiyana, Sylas, and Naafiri. Don't laugh at Naafiri being on that list. She's a high-skill jungler in pro play, I swear. Kanavi's playstyle definitely fits the team, as he usually thrives in metas where junglers are the carry, and carry jungling requires 3 winning lanes, something Top Esports are pretty good at having. Kanavi was considered domestically to be the best jungler in the league, as he received first team All-Pro in both Split 2 and 3, and the expectations are definitely high for him to finally have a breakout Worlds performance. That said, this year hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows domestically either, as Kanavi has had a few really bad games here and there, which calls into question how consistent he is at high level. I would say Kanavi should be expected to be a top tier jungler for Worlds, but that if he has a generational choke, the signs were there. Cream is the resident melee mid laner of the LPL, similar to Zeka from the LCK. When he was on OMG, he was known for his performances on Sylas, Akali, and Yone, but not being good at any of the standard mages apart from maybe Victor. After some electrifying years on super fun OMG rosters, he was called up to play on top esports in 2023. While there, I felt as though initially his spark was dulled a bit. He spent most of the games attempting to learn how to pilot standard control mages and meta picks, and to this day, I'm not quite sure if he's gotten there yet. This year though, the team seems to trust him more, and he's back to picking a lot of the volatile melee champions. Cream is a super fun player to watch, and I'm still hoping for him to have a breakout international performance. For many people, Cream is a weak spot on this team. He's not necessarily viewed as a top tier mid lane talent domestically, usually overshadowed by players like Knight and Xiaohu, or in prior years, Scout and Rookie. He's definitely a top 3 mid laner in the league right now, but I wouldn't say it's been a meteoric rise to the top, with the placements mostly coming because Scout and Rookie have fallen off a cliff, and Xiaohu is stuck on a team that quite frankly is not very great. I expect Cream to look good but not great, but in the back of my mind I'll be waiting to see if it's his time to have a generational tournament. Throughout top esports' terrible international play, one player has remained for all 5 appearances, and that's JackeyLove. He's an all-time great bot laner for sure. Worlds winner, fantastic mechanics, iconic on many champions like Draven and Ezreal, super aggressive, can take over games, everything you would want from an LPL player. He even won regular season MVP for Split 3, which is no small feat. Now that I've given JackeyLove some praise, I want to give my professional opinion on him. I hate watching this guy play. He's an absolute inter. Maybe the greatest inter of all time. Up there with legendary griefers like Beryl, The Shy, and Clid for sure. And it's not the funny haha type of inting either where he does it and gets away with it, or does it during inconsequential games. He runs it down brutally when the stakes are at their highest, and loses games that have altered the course of history. I've watched him do it for almost half a decade now, and I'm just tired. If someone was keeping track of a stat of how many games a player has lost from an unlosable position, JackeyLove is easily in first place. Caught on midwave, caught in teamfights, caught out on side, caught in river, caught anywhere and everywhere. Not to point fingers or anything, but I do have to reiterate that JackeyLove is the only player who is there for every top esports international choke. If you're a JackeyLove fan or a JackeyLove defender, I won't even try to say a word against you. You've already suffered enough. My heart goes out to you and your immediate family. Basically, no matter how great JackeyLove looks at any given moment, I feel like I can never trust him to get it across the finish line. Maybe he'll surprise me at Worlds, but as of right now, my faith is sitting in the negatives. After the sad first stand showing and their fast exit from Split 2 playoffs, Top Esports decided they wanted to swap out a player, so they chose to trade Crisp to Weibo for Hong. Hong definitely has had an interesting career to look at. He was on some mediocre RA and FPX rosters, but the potential was always there and a lot of people knew it, similar to how Delight was viewed when he played on Bro. The team to finally take a chance on Hong's upside was LNG, and while he was there, I thought he looked amazing. I was also a diehard Iwanti fan, so Hong had to work double overtime for me to think he was a good replacement. There were definitely times where I had Hong up there as potentially even the best support in the world, but then he joined Weibo and it was ugly. I'm still not certain what exactly happened, but it felt like Hong could not string together a good game. It got to the point where Weibo benched him for rookie support Urha. Not to take away from Urha at all, I thought he played amazing in playoffs, but it was still a crazy fall from grace for Hong to get benched like that. When he was traded to Top Esports, even Top Esports weren't convinced they had a winner, as they also promoted their academy support just in case. The skepticism ended up amounting to nothing though, as Hong looked great in regular season and playoffs of Split 3. Dare I say, Hong is back. I'm very excited to see how Hong does at his return to the world stage, and I just have to assume Weibo has some voodoo magic that makes players underperform. Top Esports is a very interesting team for sure. People call BLG coin flippers and that's fine, but if you think you've seen an unpredictable team, you haven't seen anything yet. If I had to describe Top Esports, I would say this. In my opinion, they are the best team from the LPL. I use the word best very lightly. No matter who Top Esports went against domestically, whether it was BLG or AL or somebody worse, Top Esports has always looked like the better team. And I mean every single time, they straight up look like the superior team. You watch the games and you come away with the impression that Top Esports completely destroyed the other team, or that they probably should have won if they ended up losing. The reason for this is because Top Esports are the best team in the world at two things. First, they are the best early game team in the world, by a disgusting margin if I may add. Top Esports play super well around the map early, and find themselves in hard winning positions basically every single game, even against the other top domestic competition. If you watch this team play the first 15 minutes of a game and then turn the game off, you'll think you're looking at peak League of Legends and an easy Worlds contender, but that's where their second best trait comes in. Top Esports are the best team in the world at throwing unlosable games in the dumbest way possible. It's actually impossible to describe, you just have to watch it for yourself. They could be up 20k and have Dragon Soul and Baron, and I still wouldn't trust them to win until the Nexus explodes. Every single person on this team seems to regress once mid and late game starts. Everyone on this team was responsible for throwing at least one game where they had a massive lead. Top Esports should not have lost Game 1 or 4 against BLG in upper bracket finals. They should not have lost Game 2 against AL. They should not have lost Game 3 to IG. If this team were able to convert games they had hard winning positions in, they might have been undefeated all the way to grand finals. And the most concerning part about this is that this is what Top Esports have always been anytime they go to an international and lose. Every year prior, we've seen Top Esports have great success domestically and stomp early games, only for them to completely forget how to get a lead internationally, and then they can't win from behind because they have zero experience being in that spot at all. I already know your games, Top Esports. You won't fool me this time. Quarterfinal ceiling at best, I'm calling it now. Banter aside, Top Esports definitely have potential to win it all. They really should be the best early game team at the tournament, and their players are all brimming with high ceilings and a hunger to finally place well. I would love to see many players on this team win, but I just can't root for them until they start showing their dominance when the lights are bright. When this team debuts at Worlds, the expectation is that they are contenders. If they don't make it to semifinals, everyone should be disappointed. We're all accustomed to having no faith in this org, but when push comes to shove, we should expect nothing less than greatness. That's all I have for you for this one. 7 down, 10 to go. I recently started a Patreon for people who want to support me more while I'm making these videos. I have 3 tiers, each with varying amounts of benefits including different types of behind the scenes content, and even a custom Poro drawing that I'll display in video outros. If that interests you, check out the Patreon link in the description. I'll see you all for the next one. Bye!